Ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls, from Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for the NXT Event Center Wrestling Report. And now here's the man that will bring you all the wrestling happenings from the WWE Superstars of tomorrow, Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Episode number 2158. The show. This is NXT's Event Center. As you know, we are 12 days away from Stand and Deliver, ladies and gentlemen. WrestleMania weekend. It's just almost around the corner. Not this coming weekend, but next weekend. And let me tell you folks something right now. It's getting more chaotic as we speak. This episode I just watched proves that. We'll get to that in a minute. But I want to address the last episode. As you know, the Lima Don't Play That is just to joke around and have some fun with like things of pop culture, like foods I don't like, in this case, lima beans. Now, I know I know somebody commented saying, "Oh, they're trolling and we're sick of the trolls and all." They're not trolls. They're friends of the show. They know me. I know them. So don't worry about it. They know who they are, and they know I don't like lima beans either, and they don't know my past. That's the thing, and why I don't like lima beans, and that's why I will never have them. So, and remember, Lima don't play that when it comes to lima beans. I don't play that. I don't do lima beans. So they're trying to get me to do it for the 300 Shoguns. No, I want to separate. I want to do the 300 show properly without involving food in it. You know, it's just because, you know what I mean? The only food I'm willing to try is that Snickers pecan. That's the only thing that I want to try out. And since Jordan called the shots on that, that's what I was willing to do. So, because I think we saw those Snickers pecan commercials many times again and again. So, we shall see what happens, and mine's still refrigerated as we speak. So, don't worry about the whole thing. I'm not, I'm 48 years old. I make my own decisions. I'm not some trained monkey, okay? If they want you to do this, you're going to do it. No. I'm old enough. I'm older than the rest of the panel here. I should have the final say of what I want to do. Not what the chat wants to do. You know what I mean? So, it's like, can you do this? Can you do that? You know, there's an old saying, I don't take requests. Anyway, so, okay, all kidding aside, we got to talk about some NXT, because NXT has been getting crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier as we speak. As you know, Kelly Kincaid, who recently made her return not too long ago from her pregnancy, congratulations to her, and Elton Prince. Yes, boy! That's right. Elton Prince. You know what Elton Prince reminds me of? If freaking Justin Timberlake grew longer hair. Like, if freaking Justin Timberlake and Orlando Bloom's character from Lord of the Rings had their DNA mixed up in a freak science lab. Imagine not having the best of the DNAs of Orlando Bloom and Justin Timberlake. You can get the best of both worlds with Jessica Biel and Katy Perry. Hey, what do you know? But he's got the lovely Kelly Kincaid, which is a combination of both, in my personal opinion. Well, anyways, she interviewed Stephanie Vaquer, and she's going to join on commentary during the Jordan Grace Jada Parker matchup. And Jada Parker, Jada Parker likes to cause some trouble. Ms. Parker, of course, likes to cause some trouble. Pushed, in fact, Jordan Grace was the one that caused this. Pushed Jada Parker right on top of Stephanie Vaquer, who pushed back. Jada Parker slapped Stephanie Vaquer. Then she starts fighting with Jada Parker. Referee throws out the matchup. No contest. But then, as Vaquer was busy with Jordan Grace and Jada Parker, Giulia made her return, and then she dropped Stephanie Vaquer. I wasn't mad. I said, it's Stand and Deliver season. I know what she wants back, and believe me, we know what she wants, and we'll hear from her later. Meanwhile, Hank and Tank were upset about last week and what happened. And then swipe right and says, hey, you better take some notes, because we're going to show you how it's done. You're a couple of rookies from Evolve. What you two boys are going to do? Yeah, Was it Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor? You know what they remind me of? They're like the younger versions of Beavis and Butthead. Brad Baylor, I should call him Beavis Baylor and Butthead Smokes. That's right. Or Ricky Butthead. That's one. Yeah. Beavis Baylor and Ricky Butthead. That's what their nicknames are. Beavis and Butthead. And so the Culling was addressing Shawn Spears' title loss, but Shawn Spears says, hey, it's not about me, guys. It's about you guys. You guys have a huge opportunity to qualify. Yeah, opportunity. You know, you guys make sure Hank and Tank doesn't find themselves, and you, Izzy Dane, focus on trying to qualify for the Women's North American title ladder match for Stand and Deliver. And so Shawn Spears wants them to succeed. He's already done his part, so to speak. So so the Culling got a glimpse of success with Shawn Spears as a former NXT North American champion. I can understand that. I gotta respect Shawn Spears for that, because the fact of the matter is this: Shawn Spears wants to bring up the younger talent, and that's what he was there for, and he knows it too. He knows it at the back of his mind. So, gotta give Shawn Spears credit for that. And then Fatal Influence, Fraxium in a non-title match against Evolve Swipe Right, and heck of a match between these two teams, and Fraxium ended up winning the matchup in this non-title matchup. Had Swipe Right picked up the victory, they would have had a humongous opportunity to become NXT Tag Team Champions. But they had a good showing on NXT, making their NXT debut. So that's good. So they'll go back to Evolve a little bit, that experience under their belts. Fatal Influence, well, after last week, they were not very happy with each other. And then Fallon Hennig says, I get to qualify. No, how about you let me qualify? And then Jasmine Nix goes, no, I'm qualifying, neither you. I'm going to get ready for my match, so wish me luck. And so that led to that match, the third Women's North American ladder qualifier matchup. So went up against Jasmine Nix, and So Ruka ended up winning the matchup, and so that means both Soruka and Zarya are in the matchup, joining Kaylani Jordan as well. So who's going to win that team? We'll find out for sure. Sarah Schreiber interviewed Javon Evans, and Javon Evans says, had Oba and Trick, I was trying to warn them about DarkState, had Elwood and Trick, listen to me, we wouldn't be in this situation, but you know what, baby steps, we'll deal with DarkState first, and then we'll deal with each other at Stand and Deliver. And then Giulia was walking inside the parking lot, and the cameraman asked her, why did you do what you did? And she goes, it's simple. I want a rematch, Stand and Deliver. There you go. So, we'll see how that... So, Hank and Tank went up against the team of Nico Vance and Brooks Jensen of the Culling, and Shawn Spears was watching the match in the back, and the Culling ended up winning that match of being Hank and Tank. So, with Izzy Dane in their corner. Meanwhile, Ricky Saints, the new NXT North American Champion, men's North American Champion, come out to address winning the title to the crowd. And then Ricky Saints wants to call out Ethan Page. Lexis King interrupts Saints, says he would want a shot at the title. Eddie Thorpe comes out and starts dissing Lexis King, saying, "There's this greedy white man," and I'm like, wow. I didn't think that was going to come out. And I think Eddie Thorpe goes, that title represents my people, represents the land that I'm in, and we were forced out. Guess what? That title, I have a right to it. Wes Lee comes out and says, if anybody knows about being North American champions, I have. It's me, and I've been wanting gold for a long time and wanting to get it back. So, and as they were all arguing, and Ricky Saints was about to say something about it, Ethan Page blindsides him from behind, and all four men had the title in hand while Ricky Saints was laid out, and then they all started brawling in the ring, and then they brawled outside the ring, and with Ricky Saints holding the title. So Ava, Robert Stone, and Stevie Turner watch the situation, and Ava has an idea. And that will lead to a fatal four-way number one contenders match, and the winner of that match between Wes Lee, Ricky Starks, Eddie Thorpe, between Wes Lee, Lexis King, Ethan Page, and Eddie Thorpe, whoever wins that match will face Ricky Saints at Stand and Deliver. Meanwhile, Stephanie McCare walks in. Ava says, "You have a decision?" She goes, "I want all four. I want all three of them." Stephanie McCare understands the mission. So at Stand and Deliver, it'll be a fatal four-way for the NXT Women's Champion. She'll defend against Giulia, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker. Heck of a matchup. Jada Parker is really a fast-rising star. And I wouldn't be surprised if she gets drafted this year to either Raw or SmackDown. If that's the case, you might see Jada Parker joining up with Naomi and Bianca Belair. And feud with Jade Cargill. Who knows for sure? Oh, can she be under the learning tree of, God heaven forbid, Nia Jax? I don't know. Imagine Nia Jax. Romy will probably go off on me on that. But if I were Jada Parker, stay away from Nia Jax. In fact, I think Jada Parker can exceed Nia Jax if she can. Anyways, so Sheriff Shriver interviewed Trick Williams, and Trick Williams goes, he understands what he needs to do. He wants to do whatever it takes to become NXT champ again. Yoshiki Inamura took on Wes Lee, and during the matchup, Tyreek Igwe and Tyson DuPont tried to get involved. Josh Briggs tried to get them both down, and Igwe yanked on the ropes and causing Inamura to lose his balance. Wes Lee took advantage of it and ends up winning the matchup. And Obafemi addresses DarkState, and then he says, after I'm done dealing with DarkState, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, well, I'll deal with them defending my title at Stand and Deliver. So we'll see what the ruler has up his sleeve. Then the fourth Women's North American Ladder qualifier matchup. Ren Sinclair went up against Izzy Dame, and you got two factions of the culling. You got Nico Vance and Brooks Jensen at ringside. Meanwhile, they were outnumbered by the No Quarter Catch crew, Miles Bourne, Tavion Heights, and Charlie Dempsey, but Izzy Dame, despite those odds, won the match. So she joins Kaylani Jordan, Zarya, and Soruka. 4 spots left next week. 2 more spots filled up. We'll see what happens there. And then Kale Dixon and Uriah actually, before that, the Meta Girls, Fatal Influence, Roxanne Perez argue and yell and complain to Ava about them getting a last chance matchup. And then Ava goes, no, there's not a last chance match, but then Roxanne Perez says, it better not be a tag match, I don't have a partner. But then Ava goes, I think I got an idea. I think I know how to do with this. Just trust me on this. So they'll find out. Meanwhile, Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors are watching one of their tag matches and know that's not right. And even Andre Chase goes, that's not right. And he goes, what do you want us to do? And he goes, you don't want to listen to me. Yes, we do. We want to learn. And so Andre Chase goes, yeah. Okay, let's look. And you know what? Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors made a smart move, wanting to help. I respect those two young gentlemen. They want to help. They want to learn under Andre Chase. They don't want Andre Chase to give up on himself. He doesn't have to bring back Chase University, so to speak. He could be like, a guiding like a manager or a wrestling coach or something. I think that's what you go for that way. Like what you see on LFG. You've got Undertaker, Bubba Ray, Mickey James, and Booker T coaching the athletes. I think Andre Chase should do that with Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors. Then Hank and Tick were upset about the loss to the culling, but then the Street Profits, the WWE Tag Team Champions, showed up, says, be who you are. And encouraging them, firing them, and said there's a gauntlet match next week between Yoshiki Inamura and Josh Briggs, Hank and Tank, Tyreek Ray and Tyson DuPont, and the culling. Whoever wins will face Fraxium for the tag team titles at Stand and Deliver. So Hank and Tank didn't need to fire up, and so the Street Profits did fire them up, which is a really good thing. Then the trios matchup for the main event: Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Obafemi against DarkState. And DarkState is thrown into battle. Dion Lennox and Cutler James, who had TV time before, Saquon Sugars decided will be in the matchup as Osiris Griffin stands at ringside. If you put all three, I thought that Osiris Griffin, the big man, will be joining them because all 3 of the 4 guys are pretty big in that ring, man. They're mean. But during the matchup, Trick and Oba decided to fight each other. And Javon Evans said, what are you doing? They tag him in. And then as they were fighting outside the ring, the referee's trying to separate them, leaving Javon Evans all alone. And in their debut matchup, DarkState does pick up the victory But they were not done. Cheney Stacks Lorenzo, the underboss of D'Angelo family, on behalf of the D'Angelo family, would like to challenge you to a match. How about this? Next week, it's in the parking lot. And you know, if you mess with us, we have serious consequences. Oh boy. I wouldn't be in DarkState's shoes right now. It seems like the underboss has got something. Or does Tony D'Angelo and the rest of the family know about this? We'll find out for sure. Or is Stacks behind DarkState all along? Who knows? Stranger things have happened. So, that is it for the NXT Event Center report for April the 8th, 2025. As you know, tomorrow will be halfway through this week. We're halfway through my vacation. And we will, as I untie my shoe here because I'm going to bed after I upload this video. We have, tomorrow we have the Joker's Wow as I pull down the one-arm bandit against that rotten devil. Who was going to win? Well, who knows what's in the best of 20. Then we got AEW Dynamite. We got WWE Evolve. Lots of craziness happening, isn't it? Lots of craziness. Craziness. So, that's it. That's all the time we have on this episode 2158 of the show. Again, my apologies for the other video, what I did with the lima beans talk. I was trying to say I don't want any lima. I'm not eating lima beans. That's what I was trying to do here. You know, I don't care if people want it. They ain't getting it. That's for sure. They're not getting lima beans. Okay, they're not getting lima beans, and I'm not eating lima beans. Not for anybody. I don't care. I don't care if it's 300 episode, 400, 500,000 episodes. I am not going to eat lima beans. All right. I do my own thing, my own way. In fact, I should have the final say because I am the elder statesman. I'm older than the entire panel of Rant and Raven. I'm older than most of y'all in the chat. That's all I'm going to say in that matter. All right? So, and don't lie to me and say you're older than me. Okay? Don't lie. Don't lie because I ain't falling for it. Do not lie. Don't lie. No lie. Okay? So, I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day. A wonderful night, actually. Get some sleep, folks. That's what I'm going to do. Get some stinking sleep after I upload this video. And until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.